this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Band's Esports Arena. It's time to wrap up week 4 of our spring Rocket League Rumble. The Fennec bracket grand finals are here. Who will claim the top spot? Let's see who comes out on top in our best of 7 grand finals between Richardson High and Team Movement. I'm your host, Artie Nerdybird Rain, and joining me to call all of the action is Joe Tacky Chigbrow. All right, so we've seen a little bit of Richardson High, but we have not seen Team Movement. What are you hoping will come from them today in order to, come out on top in this best of 7?
I think one of the most important things that all teams are going to have to learn the better they get at mechanics and communicating is team play, making sure we're passing to each other and getting a little bit more creative with our plays. We saw it last time I was on the desk, but a lot of midfield passing and maybe using some of those high-level mechanics like stealing shots and flip resets to create openings rather than forcing solo goals.
Well, I hope that our Team Movement actually makes those things come to fruition today. And for those of you that are a little bit new here, our Fennec bracket that we're going to be showcasing this week has 3 brand new teams overall, so it's new to us as well, from teams outside of the Esports Tower in the Spring Rumble. These are our teams today, which is KC Gaming, Team Movement, ET Wolves, and Richardson High. Those games took place earlier in the week, and we are moving on to our grand finals between Team Movement and Richardson High. And this is how our The Rocket League Esports Tower Rumble will work. The event rules are pretty standard, 3-on-3 soccer. It is, instead of a best of 5, it's a best of 7, single elimination, and golden goal sudden death. Of course, the overall anxiety-inducing situation that every team must face eventually. And as a reminder, before we jump into our first match, let's give a quick reminder to all of our friends on Twitch. You need to support your team, celebrate the successes, and be respectful to the other fans. Mods will remove anyone who violates these chat rules. So, of course, be friendly, be happy, and be kind to one another. That is always the best way to operate, even when it's online. Those are our keys to our viewership, but our keys to the players that are going to be playing in Rocket League today are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo in the goal. Doc's keys are presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, so let's get into our first series of the night and see who will be crowned the Week 4 Fennec Cup champions between Richardson High and Team Movement. This is a best of 7, as we mentioned earlier, so it can be very mentally taxing for all involved. So let's hope that these teams are ready and have the stamina prepared to go the full length and go the distance to bring us all the way to a match 7. Of course, only time will tell. And it looks like the first kickoff is going to be won by Richardson High, but then Kevin Slider grabs it off the wall, sending it to the back corner. It's going to be passed off the backboard by Gun Game, who's trying to send it to a teammate, but instead, Team Movement gets in that passing lane rather fast. Now off the wall, Gun Game looking to go forward, gets across the midfield stripe, but is immediately interrupted by Kevin Slider, who's looking to push it off that back wall to a teammate, and it is going to be Kyle, but it is saved by Esponda at the last second.
Ooh, and the first one found for Team Movement as Kyle Bouncer will find the back of the net pretty early into this game, less than 30 seconds in, and a good pass from Carl Jumper will create an opening in RHS defense.
I'm really curious if Team Movement, if that's all really their real first names, because if you all have that, that's quite interesting. It makes for a cute game series, though, having everyone's names start with the same letter. But let's see if that helps you guys come out on top of this game. We have Carl dunking it down off the ceiling and immediately lands to Espada. It's going to bounce high. Kyle then tries to challenge Espada in mid-flight. Kevin in the corner trying to play it around 2. Gun Game's going to pop it up. Sees the opportunity to dunk it past 2. Gets it on the ground, but Carl manages to get in that lane before they have the secondary touch. Now it's all the way back towards Richardson High's goal. Saved off that crossbar. Immediately cleared to the midfield stripe.
And a little bit in transition period now. Maybe some miscommunication from Team Movement as they bumped each other on defense, but the pressure is not quite there yet, so that RHS doesn't pressure that mistake, but the midfield is still in battle over who's going to take control in this first half.
We have Nate played off the back wall to, I believe, Gun Game. Yes, and Gun Game finds that connection, scoring goal number 1 for Richardson High. So now we are tied 1 aside at the It's Complicated 0-0 with 3 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, an unfortunate challenge from Team Movement will lead to an open net that RHS couldn't miss in a million years, but at a 1-1, 3:46 into this game, both teams can't really feel unconfident in either goal yet. They have to kind of play like, okay, we're reset now, and we're ready to go and try to make things happen normally.
Kyle has a great opportunity to get a shot on goal. Unfortunately, that crossbar is not everyone's friend. That 4th man that's ever so steadfast in their positioning. It does end up saving the ball for Richardson High. Now Kevin Slider off the back wall, looking to send it to a teammate. Has to play it around a couple members of Richardson. Passes it back to Kyle, who volleys it forward, but Espada is right there. Gun Game leaves the ball for Espada. It's now crossing that midfield stripe. Challenged by Kevin. Kevin gets taken out, but Kyle Bouncer has the opportunity to push forward with the ball now. Gun Game finding the clear at the midfield, but he immediately goes to Carl, stopping it from crossing that midfield stripe.
Oh, and a big banger, almost finding the back of the net, but barely thwarted by Kyle Bouncer. A great save to say the least, and now they're looking to turn that defensive play into offensive pressure, but it feels like on team movements, and I've seen maybe 2 to 3 double commits now that are going to prove disastrous if they don't find a way to get them out of their gameplay.
That's something that comes down to probably just a little bit more communication, recognizing when a teammate is already committed to a play, so you put yourself in a better position to assist that one. We have Carl Jumper going off the back wall to have Kevin come in for the assist. Shot on goal is going to be saved by Espada. Now Espada at the midfield pops it up over Kyle Bouncer. And it does look like Carl's going to manage to get the ball back towards that goal. Espada is going to take a save it. Carl Jumper had that shot, but unfortunately the defense is very strong coming out from Richardson High.
No team breaking yet. The midfield's still in contention. It feels like there hasn't been very much side control from either team yet, very 50-50. And right now, both teams have to be looking to play around each other and find a way to create mistakes.
It looks like there's a slight overcommit here from team movement, but Carl is managing to corral this ball in the corner. Has to play it around 2 members of Richardson High. Shot on goal is going to come out from Kevin. It does not even get credited. Espada looking to drop this down from the ceiling, allows Kyle to get into that passing lane, send it towards the goal. Saved by Gun Game. Out of the corner, Kyle still has possession as Carl come in to get the shot on. Carl also takes out Nate in the process, but the respawn's already happened. All 3 members of Richardson High are quite bunched up in this goal. Another demolition coming out onto Nate. Kyle looking for an opportunity, taken away by Espada.
Great 50-50 from Carl, but ultimately he will be barely beat out by RHS midfield. But it kind of feels like in that situation we have 4 players, from 2 from either team on top of each other. Maybe the communication will be the key thing that switches the pace of this game.
Well, they've got a minute to start either racking up some goals or at least one person find one for their team. Otherwise, we're going to see overtime. Both teams right now are hungry for 2. They want that one to put them in the lead and then an extra just to make sure they're in security position. Gun Game at the midfield is going to push the ball forward, immediately going to Carl Jumper. He's going to volley it to the back third of Richardson's High side of the field. Carl gets the shot on goal, bringing team movement up to 2. Richardson High down by 1.
A great recovery from Carl Jumper to recover from the weird kind of sideways situation he was in, but also to have forward momentum and conserve it so that he was able to find the open goal on that mistake.
Let's see if they can find another goal in similar fashion. We've got 48 seconds. Richardson High looking for that equalizer still. Kyle Bouncer off the backboard, trying to get it clear for their own team, allows Espada to come in with a shot on goal. The team follow-up just was a little bit too low on that shot. Carl and Kevin will push this ball to the mid, where Nate immediately snags it away, sending it right in front of the goal. Is it going to roll in? It will. Now we are tied 2-a-side. 32 seconds left on the clock.
And right here, the great play past Kyle Bouncer will ultimately lead to an open net for RHS, but just not quite able to connect all the way that he needs with that 50-50.
Off the kickoff, Espada gets the better touch of it. We're now crossing into that 30-second zone. Dunking the ball down was Carl, but it ended up with Nate. He's trying to play it around Kevin Slider. They won't be able to, though, so the ball's going to stagnate a little bit. Finally finding it clear from Kyle. In the corner, though, Espada is going to try to corral it, send it off the back wall to Nate. Nate comes in. Nate finds that goal, and now Richardson High is up by 1. We've got 17 seconds on the clock. I mean, it's possible for team movement to find that equalizer, but this one might go in favor of Richardson.
More than enough time now, and a great pass from Espada off the back of the wall will lead to an easy goal for his teammate. And now the pressure is on team movement to turn this around. It's what little time they have.
Kickoff goes to Kyle Bouncer. It's off the back wall. Are they going to be there for a second to touch? They almost were. Took a double commit from Richardson High's defense in order to save that spawn. Now pushing forward. Has the ball in the back third. Team movement side of the field. If this ball touches the ground, now it is done. Nate W looking to keep this one alive. Kyle even looking to keep it alive. It is dunked down, and with that, Richardson High walks away with the first game victory in this best-of-7 series.
An impressive start to the series, a close game to say the least, only 1 goal differential, but I have to hand it to Richardson High, it kind of felt like they had a little bit more control over the midfield right at the end of that game. They were finding good ways to lock down their offense.
Well, they did manage to topple the Esports Tower Wolves last week, which was very impressive, and they have a lot of strong individual players on their team, and the Esports Tower coaches are even impressed with what they bring to the virtual field. So we'll have to see how these next couple of games shake out. Currently, we have Richardson High down by 1. Team Movement is up by 1. No, other way around, right? Yes. Team Movement is up by 1. Richardson High is currently looking to equalize our series as we jump into game 2 between these two teams. Looked like Gun Game tried to leave that for Esponda, but unfortunately Esponda was not ready for that give and go. Gun Game putting on a challenge against some of the Richardson High players, forcing them to give up possession. Ball still on the back third of Team Movement side, though. They need to find it clear, but Richardson High is very committed to finding this goal-scoring opportunity. Carl Jumper's going to take Nate out in the process. Kevin Slider sending the ball to the side. He's going to look to play it off the backboard, but unfortunately the angle is just not right. It was too flat. Now Kyle Bouncer forces the reset at the midfield, trying to give an opportunity for a teammate again. Once again, it's going to roll above the goal. Will someone come in and find that last connection? Does not look like Carl Jumper is going to make it in time.
Yeah, and Richardson High already kind of taking it slow, controlling the pace of midfield seems to be their key change in strategy so far. And it seems like a lot of the side control so far has been in favor of Team Movement. Ooh, Kyle Bouncer maybe tried to outplay Team Movement defense, but there was still a possibility that was going in. Maybe a risky time to play it around the defender instead of letting the shot kind of go. And it's good to see them try to get a little bit more creative with plays. We'll have to see if they're able to turn that creativity into goal-scoring opportunities.
Kevin looking to dunk the ball down to Kyle. Kyle has to give up the ball to the midfield where Carl's waiting to try and get a reset for a goal-scoring opportunity. Gun Game's going to take out Carl in the process. This might get the opportunity for Nate to find a clear. Esponda and Kyle both elevate. The 50-50 goes in favor of Richardson High. The ball still on their side of the field. Nate finally finds the clear, sending it to the back third of Richardson's of Team Movement side of the field. Kevin going for the 50-50 challenge. It's still, he's going to go to the other corner. Carl looking to play it around 2 members of Richardson. Can they find the goal? They bounce it up over 2. A triple commit does end up with the ball being saved from Carl Jumper's shot.
And the pressure still in favor of RHS as they're taking a lot of time in their opposing end and making sure they're taking all the time that they're going to need probably to break down Team Movement defense.
Already 2 minutes and 10 seconds have elapsed with no goal being found just yet. Esponda is trying to center the ball up for a teammate. The secondary touch is too high, so Nate's shot on goal is going to be saved by that crossbar. Now at the midfield, Esponda is forced to rotate back quickly as Kyle Bouncer goes into that goal. Has a shot on goal saved by Esponda. Nate looking to dunk this down to Gun Game. Gun Game shot on goal is perfect, and we find goal number 1 for Richardson High.
Look at the team play here. The pinch off of each other, working together to find the angle, and just almost an unsavable speed and unsavable read. A great play from Team Movement.
And if anyone's looking at our scoreboard, the team colors are actually swapped, so Richardson High is in the blue, and our scoreboard is giving the blue team the goal for that one. Sometimes the UI and Bacchus mod just don't like to work together with us. It happens. It's all right. I'll keep you updated on how that's working out down there. We have a double commit coming out from Team Movement, allowing Esponda to get a great breakaway. They have Nate. Nate goes for the goalie demolition, but unfortunately it meant that they weren't ready for that second touch, but it doesn't matter. Gun Game comes for the tertiary, finding goal number 2 for Richardson High.
And an early lead here from Richardson High as a great passing play off the wall. He's not just rolling it up the wall. Instead, he chose to push it out mid towards his teammate, and it just made it so hard to read and save. A good play all around.
Team Movement is currently down by 2. They have roughly 1 minute and 5 seconds to find each one of these goals. We didn't get to see them last week in the Fennec semifinals, but the coaches say that this team on paper has some of the best talent in the Rumble. Let's see if that shines through now in these next 2 minutes.
A fight for the corner here as Carl Jumper will pull ahead, but ultimately the bounce will go in favor of RHS, and now they have to figure out a way around this orange offense.
Gun Game gets a save off of Kevin Slider's shot. Carl Jumper trying to get this ball to stay on the back third of Richardson's high side of the field. Kyle Bouncer comes in, playing it off the backboard. Will they have the follow-up touch from themselves? They will not. This follow-up was a little late from Kevin. The defender's already in position, and Kevin will not get a touch on that ball. It's up to Carl to send this one back in front of the goal. Looks like we have one of their teammates ready for a goal-scoring opportunity, but it's going to be taken away quickly now at the midfield. A reset's forced. Kyle Bouncer trying to keep this opportunity alive. It's going to elevate, play it off the back wall again. Is the secondary touch. It's a double commit. Carl's going to get taken out in the process by Nate. Gun Game looking to push this ball forward off a great clear. Already has pressure being put on them, though, by team movement.
And it just feels like an open net might have been squandered there, as the opportunity after the demo and the double commit just wasn't taken because both players were trying to figure out who has control of the ball. But being ahead, you don't have to worry too much in this kind of situation. That kind of goal is not the end of the world to let go.
Off the backboard, Esponda to themselves from a cross-map shot. Nicely done, bringing Richardson High score up by one more with 45 seconds left on the clock. Team movement now looking to score a goal every 10 seconds if they're wanting to get that. Well, sorry, every 11 seconds if they're wanting to equalize with Richardson High.
Yeah, and just a weird whiff is just making it impossible for team movement to continue to hold their line on defense. And at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to proper communication and consistency of play that's going to save them in this series.
Looks like Kevin and Carl are going to do a quick give and go, but Esponda read it well, immediately put the pressure on Carl when they went away with that ball possession. Gun Game dunking the ball down. It's still here on team movement side of the field, right in front of that goal. All three members are committed into the defensive position, so breakaways are not going to be easily capitalized on. Esponda looking to dunk this ball down in front of the goal. And as I say that, they capitalized on a breakaway immediately. However, there were people in position on defense for the side of Richardson High. It's just none of them could elevate fast enough to stop this one from going in.
Yeah, and Carl Jumper will find the first goal in this game for team movement, and maybe that's enough for them to turn it around and find two more in the next 7 seconds, but I highly doubt it.
I feel like 2 in 7 seconds is quite the Herculean task. Well, I don't know if anyone can
7
subvert.
seconds.
Yeah.
I had my rate wrong.
4 seconds left on the clock. This could be it. Richardson High is going to put themselves at 2 victories so far, but after all, this is a best of 7, so that does mean that they need to win 2 more if they want to close out this series. So they're halfway there. However, reverse sweeps are still always possible. What do you feel like team movement is missing? I definitely think the communication's not there since how many double commits we saw. Are you kind of on the same page as I am with that one?
I think it just comes down to a consistency in terms of communication and gameplay. I feel like in the situations where they're not double committing, they're still making it scary situations for themselves, but just not quite making enough contact or contact at all where they really need to on defense. And it might be a panicky thing, it might be a nerves kind of thing, but whatever it is, we have to find a way to fix it in these next couple games. Otherwise, the series is going to be over.
Yeah, so right now we have Richardson High looking to put themselves at match point if they win this next one because they're one more away from getting to that 3-game victory. Will they close this out with a 4-0 sweep, or will team movement start their comeback right now? The next 5 minutes are going to tell us. We go to the 50-50. Carl Jumper wins it very cleanly. Gun Game goes for the challenge, misses out. Kyle Bouncer is going to take out Gun Game in the process. That will keep this offensive push alive a little bit longer, but all 3 members quite bunched up, making it hard to get some great passes in, so we find a great clear from Esponda. Gun Game's going to take out Kevin Slider in return from that early demolition off the kickoff. Nate looking to prevent this ball from crossing that midfield stripe. Their team is already rotated back, though, so Kevin gets a shot on goal, turned away by Gun Game.
And the pressure from RHS is already mounting as we see the defensive end already having to be played by team movement. And this is where the key point is going to happen for them. They either need to find a way to communicate and get the ball out, or they'll need to start creating mistakes of their own while also not risking the back of the net.
We have a shot on goal from Carl Jumper. Saved by their own teammate, unfortunately. It just comes down to some strange positioning. It happens sometimes. Got to keep those comms open. We've got Gun Game at the mid, slowing down, has pressure mounting on them immediately by Carl. Plays off the back wall to Kyle. Unfortunately, Kyle was a little bit too high. Kevin at the midfield trying to send it back to Carl. Carl now popping it up. Unfortunately, that will lose possession for the side of team movement. Now Richardson High back at their own goal, looking for an opportunity. Team movement looking for an opportunity to clear this ball out of their side. Kevin comes in, forcing the ball back over towards Richardson High's side of the field. Esponda, though, plays it past one, but can't play it around Carl.
Oh, and he's up, and it's in. There's no one there to respond. An easy open net. A great pass right here from, I believe, Kevin. Yep. Great pop off the backboard, and just, oh, they bump each other. Not only is there no one even in position to respond, but the 2 people that might have been there are bumping each other out of the way. A disastrous mistake, but definitely not one they can't fix in the next 3 minutes left of this game. 1
goal is not that big of a deal this early on. Let's see if Richardson High can find an equalizer for themselves here quickly, and we can get back to that. It's complicated, tied 0-0 as Gun Game plays it around 2. Can they play it around Carl as well? They can. It's going to actually be popped up off of Kevin's hood, dunked down by Kevin at the mid. Esponda read it well, can't get it past those defenders pushing forward though from Team Movement.
Big boomer from Gun Game there, trying to transition a bit more onto offense, but oh, no one quite there. A good bump and a good whiff might have created that opportunity, but no one is able to find the shot. And now we're just kind of waiting to see where the pressure converts and see if anything is able to happen to tie this game up.
We had another awkward double commit coming out from Team Movement here on the offense, but it worked out in their favor. Nate off the save. Kyle finds that, the secondary touch for their team. They're now up by 2. Richardson High looking to find 2 goals for themselves. They have over a minute per, so about a minute and 20 seconds per goal. Let's see if they can find those 2 they need.
Yeah, and just a poor clear and a double commit even from defense leads to an open net. And now Kyle Bouncer, 2 to his name in just this game.
Ball is still in the back third of Team Movement's side of the field. Now it looks like Esponda is going to pop it up, but can't quite find the height. Their shot on goal is going to be saved momentarily, but they just keep going for the challenge against Kevin Slider, and eventually it does find its way in. Richardson High now looking for their equalizer. Plenty of time left on the clock for this to go either way.
Forces it through a very powerful 50-50. Good positioning to force that kind of open chink in the armor to happen, but they still have one more that they need to find here. Otherwise, they are not coming out of this game.
Ball in the back third of Richardson High's side of the field. Playing it off the wall. Kyle's going to come in for the shot on goal and find goal number 4 for Team Movement.
And I believe that's his hat trick now for this series. Yes, 4 shots, 3 goals, 3/4 shot percentage. Very, very accurate. And a very, very good top corner shot from him. Power shot, very hard to save.
Yeah, my apologies, yes. Tacky is right. That's goal number 3. But all 3 have been scored by Kyle, so Kyle might start spending a lot of time on the respawn screen when they're going on those offensive pushes. We'll have to wait and see. We've got Esponda now looking to play it around Kevin. They play it around him. Can they play it around another? Carl, though, gets in that passing lane, sending it back over to Kevin at the mid, takes another shot on goal. It's immediately disrupted by Gun Game, who volleys it to the midfield, but it's already pushed forward again by Kevin. Esponda plays it around 1. Can they continue to play it forward? They will. Shot on goal from Esponda, and they find goal number 2 for Richardson High.
Yeah, and it feels like Richardson High offense has been dominated this game, in particular by Esponda, finding these really powerful 50-50s and solo plays. He's very aware of how his car moves and what he can do to force it past enemies, but ultimately, if RHS wants to come out top of this game, they have to work together as a unit still.
They've got time to find another goal, but Carl doing some fancy aerial play, dragging the ball right down into the goal, finds goal number 4 for Team Movement. Down by 2, Richardson High looking to find 2 goals. There's time on the clock to do so, and it'll also get them into match point, but Team Movement's trying to stop that from happening before we even tick into that 1-minute zone. We are crossing now into the last 100 seconds of this Game 3 of this best-of-7 series.
And the pressure is all on RHS to find 2 goals now to their name in only a minute and 30. But in order to do that, they need to find a way, an efficient way out of their end, because right now it feels like Team Movement is all over them with these solo plays and midfield passing plays.
Carl Jumper is going to play it into the corner, plays it around 2, but Esponda finds a great clear, sending it to the mid, playing it to themselves. He's going to play it off the back wall. Is there follow-up from Nate in time? There is not. Kyle gets in that passing lane first. Now Carl at the midfield sends it to Kyle. Shot on goal from Kyle will be turned away by Gun Game. Kyle Bouncer looking to set this back up. Esponda looking to take it away. They managed to play it around 2, but the follow-up from their teammates is not fast enough, so Kyle gets another touch on it, off the wall and sending it to themselves. Nate goes for the challenge, and Nate finally finds that clear, but Kevin Slider volleys it immediately back across that midfield stripe.
High pass, but no one quite there. Nate won't connect either, so now, oh, is that open? Almost an overcommit from RHS, kind of assuming if their team was going to get a touch on the ball, maybe need to communicate a little bit more on what's going to happen, but ultimately they will come out unscathed from that particular play.
Kevin Slider at the midfield looking to play it to Kyle. Kyle plays it around 2, has an opportunity to get another shot on goal, but Gun Game pushes it forward just enough. Kevin Slater off the wall, has a double commit from a teammate, so Esponda challenges them. Nate is free, but can't find the opportunity to get the ball dunked down into position for a teammate to follow up. Kyle now drags the ball into the goal and finds goal number 5.
Yeah, and right now it feels like team movement is all over this particular match, but definitely this is not what you'd kind of expect out of RHS. I'm kind of hoping to see if they bounce back in some way or if it's just kind of them having to call it at this point.
There's no time left on the clock, and the ball hits the ground. And with that, team movement will find their first win in this series. You can see here how everything shook out. Boosty is pretty equal. Side control heavily in favor of team movement. Richardson High School did not have nearly as many shots as team movement. Right now, Richardson is at 2 games. Team movement is at 1. And this correction to anyone here that was here at the very beginning, this is actually a best of 5. So Richardson High needs 1 more in order to close out this series. They're at match point, and team movement is looking to put themselves there after this next game, which will be game 4 in the series. We'll have to see how that goes. Only the next, 5 minutes will tell.
Yeah, still plenty of time left in this series. Rocket League is definitely the type of game that can swing really fast. So I'm hoping that they kind of find some positive momentum and find a way to at least force the game 5 here so that they have an opportunity to make this series theirs.
I really want to see team movement clean up those double commits. There's quite a few of them, and yes, they did work out. I call this the Goblin Curse, which is you do something wrong, but you aren't punished for it, and your team ends up winning. But yeah, that works now, but it may not work in the future. So let's see those start to get cleaned up in this series and from here going forward. Next 5 minutes, I'm going to be keeping an eye on you, team movement. No more double commits.
Yeah, and I think that word of advice from Nerdy is going to hail true for both teams. Both teams have kind of had issues with communications this game, especially on defense. It feels like both teams might not be totally confident in their defense yet, but I don't think it's something that is... Oh, that was amazing. What a great tap to himself off the ceiling. A fantastic shot, and the read to come back down and tap it in. A very impressive play altogether, and a great way to start the game off for Carl Jumper.
10 seconds to find the first goal. I think that's the fastest one we've seen thus far in this series. Off the 50-50, Kevin Slider gets the better of the touch, immediately following it up. We also see them take out Nate in the process. The volley from Gun Game's going to go to the back third of team movement side of the field. Kyle is going to play it into the corner. They have pressure from Gun Game. Gun Game playing it off the back wall. Does have Carl grab it, playing it across the midfield stripe, but immediately it's going to go to Gun Game, who leaves it to push forward by Nate. Nate has to play it around Kyle. Can they? They collide. Neither one gets better possession. Now Gun Game looking to do the same as Kyle Bouncer takes out Esponda, keeping this forward momentum alive for team movement.
The pressure is on currently, as feels like RHS can't find out of their end quite yet, but even after I say that, the big boomer and the unfortunate clear will just lead to an open net. You can see how quickly stuff like that shifts. We spend about 10 to 20 seconds stuck in RHS defense, but finally, once they find the clear, Esponda is back again to find the back of the net.
Both teams are tied, one aside, so might as well be 0-0 as we go into this next kickoff. Nate gets the better of the touch, but Carl immediately comes in to grab possession, looking to drag the ball down towards the net. Disrupted by Gun Game, who gets a great save. Follow-up touch from Kyle. Esponda, though, cold and calculated, grabs it, plays it around one, looking to play it off the wall in the air. It does hit off the ceiling, though, so they'll lose possession as the ball dunks down to Carl Jumper. Ball still here on the back third of team movement side of the field. He finds its way to the midfield stripe. Gun Game looking to play it back to a teammate. Kyle Bouncer, though, pushing it forward. Carl comes in as well. And Carl did take out Esponda, so the rotation couldn't happen. Team movement now at 2.
And it looks like he pinballed it off of the defender, off of Nate, to find the back of the net there. And just an unfortunate play altogether. Wasn't able to get a good touch off of the pass into the enemy, but a good shot altogether.
Team movement is now looking for 1 extra goal to be sitting in a security position to ensure that there's no buzzer beater opportunity for Richardson High. Richardson looking for 1 just to equalize things out, and then 2 more to put themselves in that better. So they're looking for, yes, 3 more goals in order to put themselves in the top spot with security on their side. Now we have Carl pushing forward with that ball off the back wall. Kyle's going to get a touch. Esponda, though, is going to play it to the wall themselves, push it back a little bit, hoping Gun Game gets there, but they do not in timeline. Kevin to find the save. Gun Game, well, find the shot. Gun Game does get the save. Carl off the ceiling looking to dunk it down to a teammate, but none of them push forward far enough. Kyle at the midfield looking to do a reset and get another goal-scoring opportunity. Plays it around Gun Game. Can't play it around Esponda, though, but Carl Jumper comes in to help out. Ball saved by Nate.
And again, we're spending a lot of time on that orange half, but they're barely fighting their way out now. Great 50 from Esponda, and I have to hand it to Esponda. Has been a definite force for Orange offense this game and the games before. They've just been doing a really good job of making sure that the pressure is still there, even on defense. And oh, an unfortunate whiff on the Orange defensive end will lead to a great shot from Carl Jumper into the back of the net. Just not quite able to get the touch from Gun Game.
We are across that halfway mark of this game 4 here in this best of 5 series. Team Movement currently in a secure lead now, just has to maintain that lead for a little bit longer, but Nate is gonna find goal number 2 for Richardson High. Still plenty of time left for this to go either way. Let's see if Richardson gets the equalizer and then 2 more to secure their lead and victory and close out this series, or will Team Movement maintain their lead and put themselves at match point?
Definitely a toss-up so far. I feel like we've been at this situation so many times in this series with either team ahead at 3-2, but ooh, just like the last game of 4, that lead is quickly extended to a 4-2 lead, and now the pressure is on RHS to find the back of the net.
They have plenty of time, it feels like, especially in any of these esports players. Underestimate the amount of time that they do have in that bank for themselves. 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 15 seconds is a lot of Rocket League still left to be played in this game 4, but Carl finds their hat trick for themselves, bringing Team Movement score up to 5. Richardson High can find this opportunity, but it feels like instead of putting pressure onto the other team, they're allowing pressure to be aggressed onto them themselves as opposed to being the playmakers. They are just having to respond constantly. They got to start shaking things up here if they want to come out on top.
Definitely have to agree there, and it feels like Team Movement is finding their stride a lot more. They're going for a lot fancier plays, but they're doing it with confidence, and they're working together a little bit more on the offensive end. But we haven't seen a lot of their defense to really talk about whether or not those double commits have been fixed yet. We've seen a lot of weird whiffs from both teams, but I'm wondering if the secret sauce for either team this game is to be play up and aggressive and punish those double commits over and over again. Because even right there, you can see RHS went for another double commit.
Spada gets a clear just barely. Kyle pushes back just to make sure they have the opportunity to find an easy clear here. Took too many touches though, so ball's gonna be pushed back towards the mid. Esponda looking to go for a challenge against Carl. Carl leaves it to Kyle. Kyle has a shot opportunity, saved by Gun Game. Ball sent across the side of the field. Esponda looking to receive the ball from Nate. Nate pushed the ball too far forward though. Easy on the ground in the middle of the goal. Save for Kevin Slider there. The give and the go and shot would have been better. Got to be working on that communication and teamwork for Team Richardson High.
The pressure is so on RHS right now. They have to find 3 goals in 1 minute. And it's very possible, but they have to get one pretty soon, because if they don't, they're going to be playing with almost no time on the clock to try to turn this game around.
We have Carl try to play it around Gun Game. Nate comes in to help Carl out. Kevin Slider pushes the ball off that corner. Carl looking to play forward, dunks it around one, but can't get it past Gun Game, so the ball is at the midfield. Kyle Bouncer dunking it down to a teammate right in front of their own goal. Nate pushed a little too far forward, couldn't get a touch on it. Esponda sending the ball to the corner, looking to be their own follow-up touch, and does find it for themselves. Richardson High is only down by 2. They have to score a goal every 12 seconds in order to equalize this one out and not let Team Movement put themselves at match point.
And while that is more than possible, it's a feat that they have yet to climb this series. Being down like this, they have to find a way to make the defense on Team Movement side shatter in a way that will allow so many goals to be scored.
Sponda sends the ball to Nate after saving it from Kevin's shot on goal. Kevin, though, dunks the ball down after Kyle takes out Nate. Kevin in the corner has to be out Espada and Gun Game. Clock is ticking down at the 5-second mark. Another goal-scoring opportunity here for Team Movement. Will they be able to find it? They're trying to keep this ball in the air. Touches the ground. It's over. Doesn't matter either way because Team Movement is in the lead. Espada also trying to keep this ball alive for themselves. Has it in the back there at Team Movement side of the field. Goes for the pass back to Gun Game, but I think this might be it. Kevin putting pressure on Gun Game. Ball is already back to the back there at Richardson High's side of the field. Nate tries to keep it in the air, but cannot. And with that, Team Movement walks away with this victory and will put themselves at match point.
an impressive series all around, but adjustments need to be made from both teams still. I mean, 7 goals being scored in a game with, in total, 3 to 2 defenders at any given point in time is a lot of goals being scored. And so I feel like the key thing is going to be tightening up those defensive ends. And for team movement, if there were any adjustments that you definitely have to make, I would argue that I'd like to see Slider a lot more on offense. I feel like Jumper and Bouncer have been all over that end, but I'd like to see them get Slider involved a little bit more between passes or demos or just using him as the guy who's finding the back of the net more often. I want to see them get the whole team involved a little bit more.
I'll be honest, I feel like team movement is lacking on the defensive front, and so that's why they play so offensively aggressive. And instead of forcing a full defensive reset, they'd rather demo someone to try and make the pressure decrease when Team Richardson High is pushing across the midfield. It's working out so far in their favor, but if Richardson High starts figuring out how to, allay the demos, as Doc Keys once said, I feel like they'll have a stronger opportunity to bring this one back in their favor.
Totally have to agree there. Some adjustment needs to be made for sure, no matter what the outcome is necessarily.
Kyle Bouncer's going to pop the ball up to Kevin Slider, but a double commit there from team movement might be their undoing. Now Gun Game trying to play it around Kyle, has the opportunity to leave it for Esponda, chooses not to, has Nate at the midfield. They have to play it around 2. Unfortunately, the momentum just was not in their favor. Nate comes in to help them out. It's going to go off the back wall. Gun Game trying to put themselves in midfield positioning. Esponda does find the opportunity to get a touch on it, but it finally gets cleared by Kevin. Kevin looking for an opportunity to send it to Kyle. Kyle finds the connection. It's going to roll up that back wall. They dunk it down to Carl. Carl, though, collides with one of the Richardson High players, and it does find its way back to the side. There's 2 committing to the defense here for Richardson, making any opportunity for a full clear very difficult.
Yeah, and a big demo from Kyle Bouncer there, but not able to make anything of it yet. The 50-50 is being fought for. Nate is making sure that they have to really, really work to find offensive pressure, and now, because of Nate's efforts, the damage has definitely transitioned towards team movement's end.
Kevin Slider shot on goal, turned away by Nate, just a little bit too flat. But Gun Game can't get a second opportunity to get a touch on it. Esponda comes in and pushes away one of the team movement players, but Kevin snags it immediately, dunking the ball down into the goal, finding goal number 1 for team movement. And that took about 1 minute and 25 seconds, so much longer than we saw in the last game, but nonetheless, team movement in a very similar position to what we saw earlier.
A great 50-50 take from Kevin Slider, and just no one able to respond, nobody playing that worst case scenario for RHS will lead to an early lead from team movement.
Off the 50-50, Carl gets an opportunity to push forward, but does lose that possession immediately. Nate has the ball in the back third team movement side of the field, but the pressure, the double commit onto Nate allows for a clear 4-team movement. Carl off the back wall has a follow-up touch from Kevin, but it was a double commit, so now is the opportunity for Richardson High to find a clear. They just are not moving fast enough. They need to start getting themselves to this ball quicker. I understand wanting to keep the tempo control in your favor, and if you play a slower game, that's what you need to do, but you can't chronically be slowing down.
Yeah, keeping possession of the ball is one of the key ways to force pressure or force defenders out a lot of the time, but the problem is you have to get to that position fast. You can't dilly-dally. You can't take these big, wide rotations when someone's actively attacking you. You have to find someone to get in the way.
We have Kyle pop the ball up in front of the goal, but a double commit from Richardson High will save it, but that double commit might be their Achilles heel. It is saved by Nate, though, from Carl Jumper's shot on goal. Kyle now looking to do it again. Gets the secondary touch off the backboard to themselves, putting team movement up by 2.
This is a fantastic read of a bounce from Kyle Bouncer. See how early he flips for that read? What a great touch. I love that shot altogether. What a fantastic approach and a very creative way to find the back of the net from the corner.
We still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Let's see if Richardson High can start putting some goals on that scoreboard for themselves. Carl, though, here in the back third of Richardson's side of the field, sends the ball back to Kyle, dunks it down from Kyle's pass. Kyle now can't get the ball away from Gun Game, so Gun Game's going to be able to bring it across the midfield stripe. Is immediately challenged by Carl, though. Carl pushing this ball forward, plays it around 1, plays it around 2, sends it to Kevin, but Esponda gets in there first. Manages to play it around 1, but can't play it around Kevin Slider. Shot on goal, saved, but the follow-up shot cannot, so Kevin finds another goal for team movement.
And Slider has been very involved with offense this time around, finding an easy open net, but Gun Game, again, not quite able to get in the way. I think this is the second time now he's just been barely unable to get in the way of the shot, and that will result in a 3-0 advantage for team movement.
Richardson High needs to start anticipating these rotations and shots on goal coming out from team movement as opposed to having to be reacting to them, so they can put themselves in a better position from the start. We have Gun Game and Nate both double commit on that opportunity to get a touch, so neither one is going to be in a position to save the shot from going in. And Kyle is going to be their own follow-up for goal number 4 for team movement.
2 defenders go up for this. Neither of them makes contact. I mean, there's nothing more to say about that. You had people in position. Somebody has to make contact. After that double commit, it's kind of, you have to hope that your third man is able to get in the way, but an adjustment needs to be made for sure.
Gun Game with possession immediately gets pressure put on them. That's what I was talking about earlier. You got to do the give and go. You cannot just stagnate with ball possession expecting no pressure to be put on you. Esponda now pushing forward again. Plays it off the wall, looking to play it off the backboard. Kevin gets a touch on it though. Gun Game, never mind, Nate's gonna come in, have a shot on goal. They will be able to carry it down off that shot from Esponda. So now Richardson High has to make 3 more goals. They've got about, oh my, less than 30 seconds per goal in order to do so.
A good shot, but they are gonna need a lot more than that 1 goal in order to make this game work. Nate is definitely putting in the effort to try to turn this game around, but they're going to need to work together as a team. They're going to need to cut down on these double commits if anything is going to happen.
Kevin off the backboard shot will find their hat trick and the assist from Carl Jumper. So now up by 5, team movement sitting pretty. We are across that 90-second mark, so a minute 24 seconds left on the clock. Richardson High looking to find the opportunity to just start squeaking in here and scoring some goals. It can be done, but 4 goals in 24 seconds is very difficult to pull off. And it does look like team movement is going to be the winner. Richardson High actually had some other things they had to start working on. I mean, after all, tests and finals are very important, so salute to all you guys. Hopefully your schoolwork goes in your favor. Thank you for participating this week, and we hope to see you next week. But for now, team movement is going to be our grand champion for the Fennec Cup.
Yeah, an impressive series all around, and you know, even though that last game was a little bit of a blowout, as we might call it, the series as a whole was super close. Taking it to a Game 5 is always a really exciting experience. As long as we're not taking it to a Game 5 10-minute overtime, then we're stressed all game. But very exciting to say the least.
Both the players and us announcers are stressed when that happens. But, you know, part of that reason why they managed to make it go all the way to a Team 5 is teamwork, because going at it alone can only get you so far. If you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We just saw that definitely coming out from team movement during those last couple games, starting that reverse sweep. And you can see how far they've come since the last time we actually managed to see them here in the Rumble. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake. And if you are watching and haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs yet, you should. It's the fast track to help you rank up. So team movement took down Richardson High to win the Fennec Cup Grand Finals. Before we wrap up week 4, we have a pair of show matches to check out from the esports teams. But before we do that, we will take a quick break and grab ourselves some water, and I hope you do the same and join us back here in just a few minutes.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pans Esports Arena. Our week 4 of the Spring Rocket League Rumble is almost in the books. But before we wrap things up, we just have a show match between the Lions and the Vipers that we'd like to present to you all. They've currently been warming up and are ready to go. I'm still your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk is still Joe Tacky Chigbrow. All right, so these are teams you've had the opportunity to watch. We both have here on desk. What are you hoping they've improved since the last time we saw them?
I don't know. I guess all around, I'd like to see the teams work together a little bit more. The solo play is really flashy, but it's really exciting to see good passing plays to come together. But as a whole, I mean, if we're working on communication, all that stuff should kind of come together on its own.
All right, well, let's hope that we see a little bit better passing midfield control. And I want to see less double commits in this game. But before we jump into that game, we actually want to take a quick moment to congratulate all the Esports Tower Club members who've graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard in their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all these opportunities these players are getting. Congratulations to each and every one of you. All right, so we are going to go to Doc's keys of the game for these two teams, and hopefully they have the stream open and can hear this. And Doc's keys to the game are presented today by esportstower.com. Those keys are create the mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo in the goal. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your team sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. And we are going to jump into our first show match of the night between the Lions and the Vipers. They are in Game 4 of their series, so I was wrong. They aren't just warmed up. They are already gunning for the victory in this one. Let's see who comes out in this series. Both these teams are very gifted and well-rounded. It's only going to be, you know, the next 5 minutes that'll going to tell us how things shape up for them.
And so far, it's very even. Midfield is not really owned by any player in particular, and ooh, a good shot already. As I'm literally saying that, a net is found for, I believe, the Lions. A goal scored by Complex Flare off of a great pass, but yeah, it kind of feels like this game so far hasn't gone too far in any direction. Oh, a great team pinch there, but so far the Vipers have been able to hold the line all right at midfield.
And apologies on my part, this is the best of 5. I thought that they had already played 4 games, but they played 4 series already today, so they're very tired. But obviously that's not going to stop them just yet. Jockstrot's son is going to drag the ball down the mid, but took too many touches, so disrupted in mid-flight. Darasu is going to get a pass off the back wall. Immediately disrupted by Jockstrot, pushes it forward, allowing Esponda to corral it here in the corner. Plays it around 1, but can't play it around Darasu, who finds the clear. Jockstrot and Complete Flex both rotating back to, Complete Flare rotating back to put themselves into defending positioning here. Now ball at the corner where Jockstrot trying to play it around. Splur does manage to do so and plays it around Darasu as well. Going off the wall, looking for a center up to Complex Flare. Never mind, plays it off the defender to themselves, finding goal number 1 for the Lions.
An easy open net off a defensive misplay, but definitely not something you can't bounce back from. There's still a lot of Rocket League left to play, and the kickoff going in favor of Jockstrot. But the Vipers are able to get around him anyway, even though he had the advantage. But now it kind of feels like the Lions are on the back foot. They have to find a way out of this defensive end, and Complex Flare now is going to look for probably a pass to the midfield to Esponda, and almost a great play there. A very powerful attempt at team elements, but and just shot after shot after shot going for the Vipers back of the net. The power has definitely shifted in the favor of the Lions now, and Jockstrot is looking to clear it out past Splur, but is unable to find it.
Darasu now in the corner, looking to play it to themselves. It gets popped up in front of the net. Esponda sends it to the side, is going to have the opportunity to get a follow-up from Jockstrot, but Jocks may not be able to beat out Splur, but Splur off the wall, ends up sending it right back to Jocks. Darasu at the midfield, has the ball taken away from it by Esponda. Esponda now backing up, getting pushed around quite a bit, still finds a shot on goal, it's going to get saved. Ball off the wall from Darasu, who's going to have Splur come in to help them out. Played around Jockstrot now in the corner, looking to get it set up for a teammate. Has it stolen away by Complex Flare immediately.
Jockstrot's son looking for a pass mid off of a weird almost air dribble, but not able to find it as it's cut off by the real Jockstrot. And Esponda is now looking for a pass off the backboard. Almost thwarted by Jockstrot's son, but Complex Flare will catch it and then keep the pressure for the Lions now, who looks for a back pass into Esponda, but is ultimately beaten by Jockstrot's son, who is now looking for the 50-50. Unfortunately unable to find it, and now the big clear from Esponda will convert them into offensive end.
Darasu finds the save just barely, but can they find the clear off the corner? Jockstrot's going to take out one of the Vipers players. Now the ball finally makes its way to the midfield stripe. Esponda plays it into the midfield. It goes off the ceiling around Jocks to get a great touch and a shot on goal. Now the Vipers have 1 goal to their name. Lions still in the lead by 1. We're just under that 2-minute mark.
Plenty of Rocket League still left to play, and Splur will start off by winning the kickoff and trying to force an early goal. Jockstrot's son will look for the pass, but is unable to connect. And now Complex Flare looks to play it around, but is read by Splur, and Darasu now looking for the pass off the backboard. Jockstrot looking to clear it out, and Esponda is in the way. Not quite. Splur passes it off the backboard. Jockstrot unable to get in the way, and Darasu's up for the shot, unable to find it. And now Complex Flare is probably, an attempt at a clear, but ultimately has to give it back to Jockstrot, unable to find it on his own.
Jockstrot pops the ball up, looking to get it past Splur. Splur sends it to the corner. Jockstrot not giving up just yet. Has decided to rotate back now as Complex Flare tries to play it around 2. They need Esponda to get in and help them out. So all 3 members of the Esports Tower Vipers were clumped up quite a bit. That could have been an opportunity to keep the pressure on. Instead, the Lions decide to rotate into defensive positioning. Esponda pushes it forward. Splur pops it at the midfield stripe. Flare elevates, dunking the ball down, but it ends up with Jockstrot's son, who sends it back towards the Lions' goal. They can't get it past Jockstrot. Esponda barely gets a touch on it for the save. Jocks now pops it up, but is immediately having that possession taken away by Darasu.
A pass downfield by Complex Flare to Jockstrot. A good conversion down the field. Now Jockstrot's son will thwart it, but an attempt at a 50-50 will go in the favor of the Vipers, but the shot stopped by Jockstrot. In the back net, almost found Complex Flare. Is now going to look for a pass, but he gives it off to Esponda, who then hits it to the mid. Complex Flare looking for the pass. Jockstrot hits the shot, unable to find the back of the net. Jockstrot shoots again, almost a pass, but thwarted again by Jockstrot's son. And back and forth is what it feels like it's going right now, as Darasu now looks for the solo play past 1 off the backboard. Nobody there to read. Splur is able to keep it in the offensive end, but not able to find the back of the net. Another pass mid, responded to by Complex Flare, and maybe an opportunity here. And stopped short by the timer.
All right, well, I am completely wrong with how this works out. This is actually a 4-game series, so no matter what, we're going to see 4 games. I feel like this is still going to go either way as far as the game victory count goes for these teams. What do you think went well for both of them, though?
I feel like they did a really good job of trying to work together on offense. There was a lot more attempts to pass to each other via back passing or midfield kind of air dribbling. There wasn't a lot of just the default hit it around the goal kind of thing. And when there was that, it was a lot to create pressure and just kind of find demos here and there. So I feel like the creativity and the communication was definitely there for a bunch of these teams.
I really hope that this next one is as close as that last game. That's what I prefer to see, meaning both these teams are pretty equally matched off the 50-50. It forces Darisu to come in and help out I'm Splur. Jockstrap looking to pop this ball up over I'm Splur, but cannot find that opportunity. As Sponda off the wall sends it to Jockstrap, who dunks the ball down. It ends up with Darisu, though, and Sponda, who tries to pop over them, can't find the touch, but Complex does get the opportunity to get a shot on goal. It is going to be saved, though, by one of the Vipers players.
Jockstrap looks for a pass off the backboard, is ultimately thwarted by his son, and Splur will look to catch it out now, but Complex Flare will block him at the midfield. Now we're at this 50-50, and Jockstrap looks just for the pass mid, but Esponda is not able to connect, and now Jockstrap's son will push up. Complex Flare is the only one in his way. Oh, and a double commit, almost resulting in disaster. Thank goodness they got a good touch, otherwise that would have been a goal, and Esponda can look for the shot up now.
Esponda sends the ball to the back third of the Viper side of the field. Complex Flare gets it off the back wall, gets the secondary touch, slows the ball down a little bit too much, but Esponda finds the opportunity to get another touch on it. They collide with Darisu. Jockstrap comes in for the challenge. The ball does get cleared all the way back towards the Lion side of the field. Complex Flare tries to get it clear. It does stagnate a bit. Esponda, though, playing it off the wall to Jockstrap. Jockstrap doesn't get a better touch on it, though, so Darisu has an open shot on goal, saved by Complex Flare at the last moment.
Jockstrap now has a little bit of time, but is thwarted by his son and Splur. Oh, a good 50-50 will go straight to Complex Flare. Maybe he can turn it around and find pressure here, but it ultimately leaves it for his son. And now, the pressure has converted for the Vipers as Lions have to find a way out of their end. And a good 50-50 might result in that. Darisu is able to block, but only to give it away to Jockstrap anyway. And Jockstrap's son will knock it downfield. Esponda will get the read. Oh, and almost an open net. I'm sort of barely able to get in the way. Complex Flare look for the shot here now, unable to find it. But a great pass out to Jockstrap. And now Esponda is waiting mid for that pass. Oh, Complex Flare cuts the rotation, but it was a good communication all around.
Ooh,
and almost the shot in. Who will answer? Complex Flare's in the way. And the save will not happen from Jockstrap's son. And now an early lead for, I believe, the Lions, yes. Jockstrap's son with a pass off the wall. Ultimately, Complex Flare, not a great touch. A great touch again from Jockstrap. Maybe a read, but a double commit, two in the air. Honda can't safely go, and he misses. This could be disaster. A goal for the Vipers for sure. Yep, no one home. Two defenders in the air, or two offenders in the air, and Esponda was not able to get in the way. Will lead to a free net for the Vipers, and now we're at an it's awkward 1-1 goal line.
We've got Darisu and Jockstrap challenging each other in the corner. I'm Splur comes in to put more pressure on Jockstrap. Complex Flare gets the ball popped up to the midfield. I'm Splur, though, disrupts that opportunity to go forward with it. Esponda tries to get possession. I'm Splur takes it away immediately. Darisu elevates, looking to pop this ball up into the corner, but Complex Flare grabs it instead. Going into the midfield, crossing that stripe, drags the ball down, but Esponda goes for the back pass instead. A little slight breakdown in communication and rotation there allows for the Vipers to push forward. Ball dunked down by a nosedive from Esponda in front of the goal, puts them in a risky situation. Josh does find the clear, has a challenge from Darisu. Darisu's shot on goal is going to be turned away by Complex Flare, who has to play around I'm Splur, but ends up getting demoed instead.
Jockstrap will try to carry the ball past one. Darisu looks for the demo instead, and now past his teammate maybe, but a good 50-50 won by Esponda will convert into offense. And now Esponda has to find a way to stop this guy, but unable to be. Oh, and a good demo from Jockstrap. A bloodbath at the midfield right now as both teams fight for the offensive end, but Complex Flare will find a good clear, blocked by I'm Splur, and now one more person needs to get in the way otherwise. Oh, and a good pass, but Jockstrap is not able to be gotten behind, and oh, 50-50 would lead to an open net.
That is going to put the Lions up by 1. We have roughly 90 seconds left in this second game here. Let's see if the Vipers can find a second goal for themselves. Shot off the kickoff is going to go a little too far. I'm Splur goes for the center up, but unfortunately puts too much power behind it, so Derisu nor Jockstrot's Sun could get an opportunity to get a touch on it. Now Jocks at the midfield plays it, tries to play it around their Sun, but Sun manages to pop it up. Derisu goes for the shot on goal, saved by Esponda. Ball still alive here on the Lions back there. Jockstrot's Sun looks to dog the ball down to Splur, who does get possession, but Complex Flare puts pressure on them. Derisu looking to center it up for a teammate.
Esponda will take it around the wall, not able to get it past all the defenders, but is able to find one. Jockstrot now tasked with the clear. Takes it across the net. A rather risky play. Bumps his teammate. This could be an open net. Oh, but barely cleared. Esponda was not able to get in the way either, but Jockstrot was able to save the day for that play. Complex Flare, a pass out to him. He shoots it high. All three defenders up for that ball. This could be an opportunity, but no one is there. Derisu is going to now be challenged by Esponda. Esponda knocks it down. Complex Flare gets knocked to the corner, and now Jockstrot Sun is in the way. Two defenders go again. Another double commit. The communication breakdown is there. Nobody there to answer for the pass in mid. Complex Flare now has to turn to fight Splur, turn to fight Jockstrot Sun, and Esponda has to rotate back, and Jockstrot must defend this, otherwise Esponda is on his own. Complex Flare can pass mid now, but no one is there. And now, Lions are tasked with finding a way into the back of the net despite being on the defensive end for almost 20 seconds.
We're down to the last 5 seconds here. Vipers looking for the equalizer to send us into overtime. Lions just trying to maintain this lead. Will we see a buzzer beater? We will not. Ball hits the ground. Vipers down by 1 again. The Lions walk away with the Game 2 victory in their favor. We do still have 2 more games no matter what to see. Right now, the Lions are somehow have that missing piece in their favor. Just feels like the Vipers are missing something. That might just be due to the fact that they have a little less in-game experience as a team and in the Rumble than the Lions do. But we can't count them out yet, as they were performing very well against the Lions, and it was a 1-goal differential in the last 2 games. What do you think in particular the Vipers need to try to do in this next game to put themselves in a better position?
I think the panicky double and triple commits need to end. I think we saw it right in that last minute. It's just kind of throwing themselves at the ball, not thinking about what they're doing. I mean, there was a lot of double and triple commits that were never responded to. Even in the mid-game, there were a couple. And it just feels like the missing piece for them is that fluency on defense that right now the Lions seem to have.
All right, so yet again, we are requesting a cleanup of the double commits. We'll have to see if the Vipers hear our plea in this next 5 minutes.
Kickoff will go in the favor of Jockstrot Sun, and Complex Flare is tasked with getting out. Passes mid. This could be dangerous, but Splur is just barely blocked by Jockstrot. Complex Flare has to get it out. Pass mid will go to Esponda. He takes the shot. Not a great shot. Derisu's already in the way. Jockstrot will take the shot. Oh, nobody there. Over the first defender, and the second defender was kind of waiting to see if his teammate had it. An unfortunate situation will lead to a Lions early lead. Not what you really want if you are aiming for this 2-2 tie from the Vipers.
Splur had a great, easy touch off that kickoff, but the follow-up wasn't there from their teammates, so I feel like maybe the communication just wasn't in their favor on that one. Shot on goal from Esponda is going to be way too wide to even get it credited to them. Esponda, though, still maintaining a lot of possession without much pressure. Finally, pressure from Derisu and Splur does start to happen, but Esponda still gets another touch on that ball as Complex Flare goes for the challenge against Jockstrot's Sun.
Oh, and some confusion. He bumps his teammate out of the way. Oh, what a terrible shot from Complex Flare where we blocked. He had the whole net to shoot at except for that one corner, but Derisu now is looking to turn around and get the favor back in the Vipers. Find a tie here, but Complex Flare, actually all of the Lions will triple commit on that play. And a little bit of a panic now from the Lions as they missed one shot and then triple commit on their next save, but looks like they're now recalculated. They're back in their zone, and almost a double touch from Jockstrot. They're definitely back in their stride now as Complex Flare is trying to get in the way, but Esponda is barely not able to find the defensive end as well.
By the way, Complex, I feel like that shot earlier was great, just in a little bit of a, needed to be a little higher or a little bit more in the middle of the net. Splur now at the midfield, goes for the challenge against Complex Flare. Derisu now has to play it around Esponda. Esponda sends it to Complex Flare. Complex slows down, makes Derisu to push too far forward. Jockstrot now pops the ball up off the wall, allowing Complex to get a touch on it to recenter it, but none of their teammates were ready for it. Derisu gets a touch. Esponda finds the clear. It's going to go to the back third to the Viper side of the field. Jockstrot's Sun's going to try to play it around Esponda, but Esponda sends it to the back wall. Complex off the backboard, but the double commit allows for no follow-up for the Lions, and now the ball is on the back third of their side of the field.
Esponda gets a great clear out, but Derisu will respond immediately. A great demo from Complex Flare will open up the back of the net, and Jockstrot will be there immediately to make the play happen. Great communication, finding the breakdown in the Vipers defense and creating an opportunity with that demo.
Off the kickoff, Jockstrot gets the touch, allowing Derisu to follow it up. beautiful flick into the goal from Darius, who'd allow the Vipers to find their first goal in this series.
We're right back at that 2-1 scoreline that we've seen more than enough times in this series, but definitely so much Rocket League left to play in this game. There's got to be at least one or more scored to upset this curse, but Jockstrot is looking to push downfield. Darius will block him, and Jockstrot will respond with a hefty bump. Now Espada will push downfield. Complex Flare being their main striker in this position, but nothing will come of it.
Complex Flare off their own backboard, try to get it clear. I'm Splur, though, keeping this opportunity alive. Complex is going to pass it to Espada. Espada sends it to the mid, but Jockstrot's already rotated back to the goal, so the clear didn't have a follow-up. Espada now pushes it to the wall. Darisu and Jockstrot's son will both elevate for the touch on the ball. Neither one can find the opportunity to get a shot on goal. Jockstrot will turn away another shot there from Darisu. I'm Splur comes in. It's going to go off the wall. Complex Flare trying to corral it here in the corner. Leaves it for Espada. Espada, though, has I'm Splur immediately take a shot on them. And the rebound shot, also in I'm Splur's favor, does get saved.
Almost a good transition from the Lions. Now Complex Flare will win the 50 downfield. I'm Splur has to find a way behind Jockstrot, and he does find it. Espada takes the 50-50 with the defender and is able to push it down, only to be pushed back by Jockstrot's son. Complex Flare with the clear. Darisu with the pass. Espada to be in the way again, and now Darisu is going to look for a pass mid, but is unable to find it. Espada and Complex Flare will work together to find their way out, but now Jockstrot's son is all on his own to do whatever he wants with it. Finds a pass. A good clear from Espada, but it's still kind of mid. Darisu could take a shot, and he does, to the top corner. No defenders there, and I believe that puts us at a tied score line.
I am noticing quite a bit. The Vipers will catch themselves without boost. Even there, Darisu just barely got boost. I'm Splur had nothing when they took that shot on goal. And the coaches have really been emphasizing boost pad rotations for practices for the Vipers. I can see how they're struggling with it, but it doesn't seem to be their Achilles heel just yet, as now we are tied 2 aside with 1 minute and 1 second left on that clock.
I'm Splur kind of looking for a pass mid, but no one there. Very dangerous territory. Jockstrot will just take the shot. Oh, definitely an opportunity for a goal there, but ultimately thwarted by the crossbar. Jockstrot can go for it again off the wall, unable to contact. Complex Flare will take the shot instead. Saved by Jockstrot's son, and Complex Flare takes another shot, barely saved by Orange defense. Now Espada can take the 50-50, ultimately beaten by I'm Splur, so he has to go back. Complex Flare will block, but it will pass mid, so definitely not what they were looking for there. I'm Splur unable to make contact. Now Jockstrot is there, but Espada gets in the way anyway, and Jockstrot will take the shot. A pass mid, Espada can shoot. Nope, no one there. Jockstrot will now look for the pass off the backboard. Jockstrot's son is up and blocked away. Complex Flare takes the pass with the wall as well. And just a weird demo will diffuse the situation a little bit as Espada is unable to make contact with the ball. Complex Flare back to himself, or Espada cuts in the way again. Jockstrot is there, and a 50-50 will push it towards the wall.
Espada off that wall, dunks the ball down onto the ground, and with that, the Lions walk away with the Game 3 victory for themselves. We still have one more left, as this still is a 4-game series, and no matter what. You can take a look at our beautiful Overwatch players on stage as well. Hard focused into their game currently, and now we are going to be turning to the last game of the series. I personally really hope to see the Vipers come out on top of this one, because those last games were so gosh darn close. I just feel like, honestly, they need to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, in that series, in that last game in particular, I felt like the reason more goals were scored was because the Lions' defense was a little bit shaky by comparison to the last games. There were a lot more double commits and just weird situations. So I think if they're able to make those adjustments, that we could possibly see Vipers come out on top here. But looks like we do have a color swap, as Darisu is now on the blue side. So I believe we have Vipers on blue and Lions on orange now.
Yes, you are correct, but our scoreboard as far as the series goes is still correct down there on the bottom. We have Darisu go for a challenge and a double commit coming out from the Lions. I'm Splur will find a clear opportunity off the back wall. It does hit that crossbar, that ever so steadfast fourth man coming in clutch.
Complex Flare has almost an open net, but Darisu is almost in the way as well. Espada is going to look for the pass out mid. A great touch. 2 defenders go, both whiff. Definitely an opportunity for a goal, but no one could read the whiffs. Now Complex Flare pushes on the ball as I'm Splur is looking to find a way out in any means possible. Isn't able to find it though. since the pass will go straight to the back of the net. And Derisu cuts in. Esponda is unable to get in the way, and Complex Flare now has to try to dribble it out. Jockstrap will challenge him, but is unable to make contact. And now Jockstrap Sun can try to take a shot. Ultimately, 50-50 will go in favor of the Vipers. And Jockstrap now has to look for a pass out mid. Esponda will push downfield. Complex Flare will probably follow. He's up. And no such good touch. Derisu will take the shot towards the back of the net. Jockstrap Sun is well in position. Derisu will be tasked with hitting again. And Jockstrap Sun leaves it for Esponda. Complex Flare now has to play the midfield and wait for his team.
They're pushing the ball into their own back corner. Derisu putting a lot of pressure on them. Imsplur comes in to help them out. Imsplur trying to get it around Esponda, finds it, but is there a follow-up touch? There is from Derisu, and it does finally cross that goal line completely. Lions now finding their first goal of the game.
Putting them ahead in the first 2 minutes will definitely help them secure that Game 4 victory. But there's still so much time left on the Vipers side. They have to be wary. They have to keep those rotations in check. And now Jockstrap is going to look to punish even further as Esponda is forced to try to go for the 50-50.
Imsplur off the wall, sends it to Jockstrap, who pops it up. Complex Flare is going to find the save, but it does not find the clear. Derisu trying to get it around Complex, does manage to do it, so Complex is chasing after this ball in front of their own net. Risky situation to be in, but does find it at that midfield stripe. Now has no one in front of them, but Derisu swoops in at the last second to find a great save and push the ball to the side.
Esponda will find a great 50-50 to force them to continue to play defense. Jockstrap will be in the way. Complex Flare is now tasked with finding a midfield opening, but just ends up leaving it for Derisu. A bump will not lead to Derisu being disrupted. He will continue to push downfield. No defenders in his way. Esponda finally finding the 50-50. Esponda finding another 50-50. Jockstrap Sun appears to be maybe having connection issues. Complex Flare will cover for him regardless, find the flick downfield. Ultimately thwarted by Jockstrap. Now Esponda will push up. Complex Flare is looking to get the next touch, but is unable to find any connection at all. Derisu will then get the pass and pass out to his team, who will then look for the cut around, but ultimately fake it, almost finding the back of the net. And now rotation back will be required from the orange side.
Esponda pushing forward, pops the ball up, has Complex to dunk it down. Complex can't make contact though, so Jockstrap sends it to the side, plays it around the Jockstrap Sun. Esponda now racing back, but Derisu finds the touch before they can come in contact with that ball. Lions up by 2. Vipers sitting at that unfortunate 0. Still have plenty of time to bring this one back. Ball sails into the back line of the Lions side of the field. Finally pushed out by Imsplur. Complex Flare is rotating back with ball possession, looking for an opportunity to have Jockstrap Sun get the clear. Esponda and Jockstrap will collide with one another, so unfortunate breakdown in communication lets the Lions maintain pressure here on the Viper side of the field.
Complex Flare now looking to find his way out, but Jockstrap will 50 and challenge him on that play. Ultimately, it will go in the favor of Jockstrap as he's able to chase it up the wall and maybe look for a pass here now. Out to Imsplur as Derisu has to rotate back, but the shot is good for its money. And now, a much needed goal to secure this lead for the Lions.
Imsplur sends the ball to the back corner on the Viper side of the field. Derisu passes it to Jockstrap as a demolition comes out on the goalkeeper. Jockstrap looks to pop it up over Complex Flare. Complex Flare, though, reads it well, sending it to the back third on the Lions side of the field. Imsplur and Derisu, though, work together to get this ball back across the midfield stripe. Derisu has very little pressure, sees it, they have to pop it up over one, finds it, and finds the second follow-up touch to find goal number 3 for the Lions.
A fantastic solo play, cutting in around one and fighting back in the net on the next touch, and now Derisu is being the offensive end here, and Jockstrap Sun is again unable to connect, it would seem, but Imsplur, okay, back to a good point of view. Derisu is now looking for the pass to Imsplur, the net is open, unable to find it, and the clear from Esponda, and looks like somehow Esponda changed cars mid-game. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. Complex Flare is 50'd by Imsplur. It will go in favor of Imsplur. Unable to find the back of the net, though. Derisu is going to fake and then look for the shot or the pass. Oh, great pressure. He fakes out one. Imsplur is there. Saved by Jockstrap Sun. Complex Flare will get the touchdown field. Is there anyone in the way? Jockstrap's in the way, but he almost shoots it into his own net, and Imsplur will take the shot into his own net as well.
And that shot gets credited to Eimsblur, and just in case anyone's curious as to why we didn't stop the game, once a goal has been scored, the game to continue. So even if someone's experiencing any sort of connection issues, the rules that we abide by must stay in place. And so unfortunately, Jockstra's son, those few minutes of connection problems might have been your team's Achilles heel in this case. Hopefully next time we are not playing on mall Wi-Fi. I'm totally joking. The internet never works in anyone's favor, but nicely done, everyone. That was a show match, and hopefully the Vipers have an opportunity to do some great VOD reviews from that game and just learn from that show match show match 4-game series. After all, it's only truly a moral loss if your team does not learn anything from the match experience itself. And if you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes and team general managers and game producers, then join the club. The esports star players get insider access to industry insights. With our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. So the Lions have claimed the first show match of the night, and we'll wrap up week 4 with a second show match, which is yet again, I believe, going to be a 4-game series between the Panthers and the Scorpions. But before we jump into that game, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble. We're broadcasting it live from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It's time for our final game of the night. Hello, production. The Panthers are going to be facing off against the Scorpions in a 3-game show match to wrap up Week 4's Rumble. I'm still your host, RU Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk is Joe Tacky Chigbrow. All right, so a 3-game series, not as taxing as a 4-game, but these are teams we've seen before in the past, and I feel like the theme of make sure you guys are, passing and maintaining field control and also communicating is still probably going to ring true for this series. What do you think?
Yeah, I think communication is just what it's come down to for this week, is the teams that have been communicating the most and avoiding those double and triple commits are the teams that are finding the most success in these series.
Yeah, I mean, if you commit 2 people to one play, that means you're probably going to only have one, if no one, for the follow-up play that needs to happen. So hopefully those players take our advice here from the desk. But Doc, of course, has his own advice to all of these players tonight, and that's create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo in the goal. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by esportstower.com. Score Pro advice at Esports Tower, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Let's wrap up tonight with our second show match, a 3-game matchup between the Panthers and the Scorpions, who are a pair of newer teams looking to get some value and practice reps from this series. Hopefully these VODs and maybe some caster comments will help out in their favor. But if they don't, of course, they will have their coaches ultimately at the end of the day to tell them what went wrong and what went right. So good luck to both of you guys and play your hearts out.
Kickoff will go in favor of the Panthers right off the bat, but a good response from Scorpions will force them to play in their end, and Kindle now looking for the pass mid. No one will be there. Tove gets the shot out, stopped by State. AR 7007. And now the pressure definitely feels like it's on the end of the Scorpions, but as I say that, we convert very fast. As Twiz will look for the demo, not able to find it. Tove with the pass at the backboard. Twiz turns to get it. Kids in the way. Not a whole lot happening. A lot of midfield play so far.
For the Scorpions, thus, as far as their roster goes, if you've been here for quite some time, you know Fiery Minstrel is a longtime Esports Tower member, and the coaches hope that they can have a positive impact on their younger and newer teammates coming out in the form of Kendall and State, 2 members of the Esports Tower that we have not yet seen so far. And I hope, Fiery, you are taking the role of the in-game lead and making sure those comms stay open and stay strong for your team.
A good bump will defuse the situation, but now someone has to challenge State. Good touch by Kidscrab. Will force it out. And he looks downfield. He finds another 50-50, a pass that could go in the favor of Twiz, but end up sending someone else from the Panthers. Now Tove will go at it again. State sitting in the back of the net, and no one able to connect. State just not quite able to get in the way of that pass.
Panthers
for the Panthers.
Panthers do find their first goal, and also to note is that despite Tove is an experienced Esports Tower member, we've seen Twiz TV and Kid Scrub before as well, but they do not have nearly as much experience as both Tove and Fiery Minstrel. So across the board, as far as Rumble experience goes, we're about equal, with the Panthers having a slight leg up. Let's see if they can maintain this 1-goal lead.
Tove looking for the play downfield, blocked by Fiery. Kindle is waiting back for Fiery's touch, looks for the shot, unable to, oh no, he is able to find it. Panthers take a guess where he's shooting and unable to find the right spot, and now Scorpions will tie it up.
Off the kickoff, we have Kid Scrub trying to corral this ball in the corner as Tove pass it back to them. Tove rotating back out towards that midfield positioning. Tove leaves the ball for Twiz, who's going to dunk it down, but it looks like the Scorpions have managed to get a touch on that ball, pushing it forward towards the goal. Twiz finds a minor clear, but because of the double commit in the goal, the follow-up's not there. Kid putting a lot of pressure on the Scorpions to make sure that they do force the turnover of possession. Fiery Minstrel at the midfield stripe, volleys it into the back corner. Unfortunately, their back tire does touch it off that corner shot, so they will not be able to maintain control very long. Twiz plays around Kendall. Can they play around Fiery? Never mind. State comes in to get that disruption long enough for Kid Scrub to actually come in and follow up with a touch, but at the midfield now, Scorpions pushing forward. Twiz TV going for the return volley at the mid. State, though, says no, and shoots it directly towards the goal. Tove too far in to block it.
Very similar situation to what we saw with Panthers. Goal too far in the back of the net, too far in the middle of the net, unable to make the save, and now Scorpions have converted to being ahead in this game. The Panthers have to respond, and State is looking to make sure that doesn't happen, pushing out, trying to find a way into the offensive end, able to get past one, almost able to find the back net. He is. Nobody is there to respond. A great shot to the back corner is going to make it impossible for him to get back in time. And now Scorpions are really pressuring with their lead now. Kindle will win the kickoff over to Fiery Minstrel. The pressure is converted already. A great flick. Twiz has to respond. Tove rotates in the front post. He has to go next. A good shot. Kind of blocked. Oh, and no one there to challenge, so he's able to dribble downfield, finds the 50 that will ultimately go to Kids Crab. Fire Minstrel cuts anyway. Kids Crab not up. Both players on the wall. Almost a bad situation all around. And now the pass mid, but no one is there to respond. State almost finding the back of that. Twiz has to respond here. Both his teammates on the back wall. He's third. Tove and Kids Crab are now rushing back. Twiz isn't able to get in the way. Kids isn't able to get in the way. Back then it found. Nobody in the way.
So the coaches apparently for the Scorpions have been really working on keeping their comms very clean, and I think we're seeing those clean comms come to fruition right now. And as I'm saying that, the Panthers tell me to be quiet because they find a goal for themselves. Let's see if they can close this 2-goal gap right as we take across that 1 minute and 30-second mark.
Fiery Minstrel just gets a weird touch. Twiz hits it to the back though. Oh, unable to find the double. Fiery Minstrel unable to connect, and now they're still on defense. State looks like he has some space though. Ends up going with a bounce dribble, is unable to get it past. Oh no, he gets it past Tove. Almost a horrible situation for the Panthers, but easily thwarted by the defense. Fire Minstrel now has to look for a pass. Twiz unable to connect. State hits it downfield. Looks like Kendall will respond. A good block from the Panthers. Kids Crab ends up not going, only half commits, and almost leads to a disastrous goal. Twiz is able to get in the way though, and now he's looking to push it past one. State is in the way now. Kids Crab has to rotate back and get to this. Tove is back. He has to go now. State finds the dunk, almost finding the back of the net. Twiz hits it to the back corner. Kindle's going to be able to respond for free. No one in the way. Twiz gets a weird touch. Tove reads it, gets the good shot out, and now he can look for the pressure downfield. Looks for a pass to Kids Crab. Nobody up for it. Now he's up. 2 players with. Completely. State will now look for the pass mid. Unable to find it. He's just going to dribble it himself. Kids Crab with a great pitch is going to force pressure, and now Twiz is going to be forced to try to find a way around Fiery Minstrel.
Tove off that ceiling dunk from Fiery Minstrel is going to maintain possession. Dunk it past Kendall as a ball touch from Kid, and Kid's touch will find the back of the net. Panthers now only done by 1. They've got 12 seconds in this first match to find that equalizer and send us in the overtime. Can they do it? They got to basically get one off this kickoff. Tove sending the ball to the side to play it around State. They managed to do that, but now the ball's in the air, and Fiery Minstrel picks it back up. We're at the 3-second mark. Ball hits the ground, and that is it. And the Panthers will walk away with the first game victory in this 3-game series.
And just like that, that'll be the end of the first game. And I believe Scorpions, that's right, Scorpions come out on top here. A very interesting game to say the least. It felt like it was very aggressive. 7 goals scored total, a lot of offense played. Not a whole lot of double and triple commits, but it was a little bit, dare I say, sketchy right towards the end. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I agree. There was some moments where it felt like there was some awkward passing happening between both teams. I don't know if it was just, the anxiety of not trying to put the other team in a better position than yourselves, or I know that something that comes with playing with a team for a long period of time, which none of these guys have really had that opportunity just yet, is having that faith and trust in your teammates to know that they're going to be there when they need to be, instead of trying to make sure that you're always there, which kind of started to happen when we saw some awkward double commits. But, I mean, there were situations where being that hesitant and being worrisome did work out in both teams' favors. We saw, awkward touches happen right in front of a defender's goal, and another defensive teammate came in and got a touch on it, but it still was a double commit. However, it wasn't punished. So if both teams are doing it, it balances itself out, but I hope in this next game we see cleaner passing.
I definitely second that opinion. Twiz already looking for the offensive pressure, but Kids Crab will have to do it for him. Plays around 1, unable to get past the other one. But Twiz leaves it for Tove. Great communication there, but Fiery Minstrel able to body pass 1 and 2. He's able to find the flick off of the demo. Nobody there to defend in time. And just a great 50-50 will lead to a really easy open net for the Scorpions.
Off the kickoff, it is sent to the side where Fiery Minstrel is going to play it in the air, back to the back third of the Panther side of the field. Kid's going to be there for the challenge. Fiery jumps up to try and get a touch on it, but Tove grabs it instead, trying to play it around Kindle. They managed to get it around them. Can they get it around Fiery? They cannot. Fiery gets the save. Kindle goes for the shot into the corner to find a clear. Kid Scrub trying to dig it out back into the mid, positioning for a teammate to have the follow-up. Ball does get cleared. Fiery Minstrel gets taken out. Tove dunking it down at the mid. Looks like Kendall's going to push forward with only Kid to defend that goal, and Kid finds the save.
A bump on the Kindle will force State to have to rush this play a little bit sooner. Great pass off the wall, blocked by either Tove or Twiz, but the double commit will ultimately land them into a world of hurt, putting the Scorpions ahead 2-0.
There's still 4 minutes left of this game, and it is only the second in a 3-game show match, so anything can happen, anyone can come out on top. Scorpions only being up by 2 is not a bad sign just yet, especially with how many goals we saw scored in the last game. Let's see if the Panthers can shake things up a little bit and manage to find an opportunity here as a pass back by the Scorpions puts the ball dead in the air on their side of the field. Not something they want to be doing, but Twiz and Kid Scrub trying to make sure they keep this opportunity alive. Byron Mitchell pops the ball up. Tove dunks it down in front of the net. Kendall, though, finds the clear.
Kid Scrab will find a great 50-50, almost an opportunity for a scoring position, but nobody in the second position able to find it. Kendall will now look for the 50-50, but passes it to Tove. Tove taps it off the back, unable to find anything. Kid Scrab passes it off the back, unable to find anything. Now State is looking to get it past 1, maybe 2, passes to his teammate, unable to find anything, cut off by Tove. And a double commit will lead to Kid Scrab being the third man, but he does take a shot. He is given the opportunity. State finds the clear, and now Tove can look for the pass. Kindle is going to touch it out. Twiz barely gets in the way, and now they have to play defense.
Ball's in the corner. Kid Scrab finds the opportunity to push it across that midfield stripe. Now off the back wall. State is going to get a touch on it to the midfield. Has to play it around Twiz, though. Twiz is able to get a touch on it and send it to the back third of the Scorpion side of the field.
Tove with a great shot. Barely saved by the Fiery Minstrel. State will put it into the corner safely, so the Kid Scrab can now look for an opportunity here, but Kindle misses. Fiery Minstrel gets it past 1. Now situation is diffused a little bit, but nobody able to respond to Twiz's touch. Almost leads to a goal. Tove is up with Twiz, and almost an opportunity for them to be punished on that double commit. Now converting onto their end. Tove leads for Twiz. Twiz can dribble off the back wall. Kids is not turning for it, so Fiery Minstrel will take the first touch here as Kid Scrab gets it around. Twiz looks for the pass mid. This is an opportunity. Oh, but not a great touch. And a good 50-50 will salvage the situation as they keep offensive pressure. Fiery Minstrel is given a little bit of free reign, but he's unable to get to the ball. Twiz finds the backboard, and now Tove has to be up to find the back of the net.
Shot on goal from Tove, saved by State. State goes to the challenge against Kid Scrub. Does look like Kendall's going to manage to play it around 1, but Tove finds it in the corner. They have Twiz to pass to as Kendall's putting pressure on Tove. They choose to pop it up. Tove still, though, maintaining possession. Ball ends up with State, playing it around Tove, going to the back third of Panther side of the field. Twiz finds the clear off the wall to themselves, pops it up. Do they have follow-up from the teammate? They have Kid come in, but Kendall gets the touch first, sending it back towards that midfield stripe.
All three Panthers rotating back, and Tove will be the one to turn and respond, forcing a little bit more of a thing from Scorpions. And outplays his teammate. Bad communication there. Almost led to a disastrous situation. Good 50-50 will lead up the wall. State can now beat everyone. He looks for a pass mid for sure. Gets the double tap. Tove will have to respond here. And he is able to get to it on the wall probably as he gets the pass out. But ultimately will go to State again, or Fiery. And a great pass down. Tove almost able to get the hanging touch upfield.
State now with possession, looks to send it to Kendall. Kendall finds it in the air. Twiz pushes the ball to the side at the last second, getting a great save. State has another touch and shot on goal, taking out one of the Panthers players in the process. Kid, though, challenges Kendall. Kendall pushes it into that corner line. Fiery Mitchell to come in. Fiery now rotating back. Twiz pushes it past 1. Can't get it past Fiery, though. Is going to play it in front of their own goal. Now all 3 members of the Scorpions are there, and Kid will capitalize on that awkward positioning, allowing the Panthers to find goal number 1. We've got 31 seconds left. That's enough time to find 1 goal, but their rotations need to be solid off an awkward whip off the kickoff, allowing State to get possession.
It looks like both teams could have gone for the fake play there, but it was definitely a lot of confusion, and Scorpions are already trying to jump on that and get ahead of the game early, but Kid Scrab is going to have to say, no, we're not doing that. We still need a little bit more time. Almost gets it past Kindle, but Kindle unable to make contact. State will take the pass off the backboard. Twiz unable to connect. State will take the now pass off the backboard again, unable to find a good one though, and forced to respond. State or Fiery Minstrel will turn around, and that will end the series.
That last kickoff was quite strange.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from that angle without watching the player's point of view whether or not they were planning on faking it, both of them faking it, or if one of them faked it and the other one just didn't read it and missed entirely, or if they both just missed. But regardless, it was craziness. It was wild.
Yeah, I think neither one had things go as according to plan in that situation. They recovered. No goal was immediately scored off of it, but I hope next time if we see a fake out like that, one of the other teammates pushes forward quickly and takes possession of that ball. We are about to jump into our final Rocket League game of tonight for Esports Tower. As I mentioned earlier, this is a game, 3-game show match series. No matter what, we get to see all 3. Scorpions are currently up by 2 in this series. Panthers looking to find 1 victory for themselves. No matter what, each will walk away with a lot of valuable gameplay experience.
Twiz is going to look for the first dribble downfield. He has Tove to the midfield. Unable to get a great touch. Kids will have to respond, but he has a lot of space, so he can maybe pass to Twiz. Ultimately just takes the shot mid. Stopped by State. State will then get the 50-50 off of him to force it into the defensive end. And Tove will not be able to get all the way in the way, and will find an easy back to the net, bouncing off the defender and into the back of the net.
I feel like despite their lack of experience as a team and as Esports Tower players, both Kindle and State have been doing a fantastic job working in with Fiery Minstrel. Fiery Minstrel has always been a very fantastic defensive player, and they can make plays happen when they need to. It's just a very solid team so far. Let's see if that continues in the future for them, but right now we'll focus on these next 4 minutes as Tove pops the ball up, sending it to Twiz, who's going to play it off that back wall. Is there another touch? There is from Kid, but unfortunately the angle was just not right, so it allows Kindle to get in there and cross the midfield stripe as they play it around Twiz.
Kindle looks for the pass off the backboard. Another pass off the backboard. Nobody there yet. Fire Minstrel takes the shot, but is wide ultimately. Tove gets a good, favorable 50-50 into the far corner, but State gets to respond early, getting it past Tove. Twiz now has to look for the pass or can look for the dribble play. Ultimately, he looks for the pass off the 50-50. Kids Crab is a little behind the play. Fire Minstrel will get there early. Fire Minstrel unable to play past the second defender, though, as Tove will beat him on the 50-50 and look for the back of the net, almost finding it. Fire Minstrel will leave it for Kids Crab, who now has to recover or look for a pass, but Twiz ultimately has it covered for him. Kindle can look for the play here regardless. Cut off by Kids Crab. Fire Minstrel for the pass to State. Almost a great passing play. Oh, and it is. He finds the one chink in the armor. 2 defenders unable to make contact with that roller into the far corner.
Going into the 50-50, it looks like State will get the first touch, but Tove is going to be the one to recover it here in the corner. Looking for an opportunity to send it to a teammate, but they have to take a nosedive in order to get another touch on it. No one with clean possession just yet. We have Kindle accidentally pushed Fiery Minstrel out of the way, allowing Tove to push the ball forward. It's going to go into the corner. Fiery Minstrel tries to get it clear, finds it to the midfield stripe, where Twiz is going to be waiting to play this ball out of the corner on their own side of the field.
Oh, almost a good opportunity there. Kids Crab will get it around 1, but State will stand in the way. They're battling for the control of the corner. Kindle bumps Fire Minstrel again. That's 2 separate events now where Kindle has bumped his teammate on the back post rotation, and now Tove is trying to counterplay a little bit, is unable to get the connection. Twiz is looking for the flick downfield past State. State almost bumped out of the way, but is able to make good contact, and now he can look for a play off the wall. Tove is the last defender. He has to be in the way here, and he is. He pops it up to his own follow. Twiz will follow close under to get the next touch, keeping possession of the ball. Kindle will pass back 1. Tove will up it high, and a follow-up from Kids Crab almost leads to a really nice read off of the backboard. Now State has free reign, looking for the dribble play, it looks like, but is unable to find it. Fire Minstrel is now up next, unable to read the ball effectively. Kids Crab gets the pass off the backboard. Almost a shot there. Twiz hits it off the backboard again. A great 50-50. Fire Minstrel will be up for this one this time, though. Oh, unable to find connection. Unable to find connection again from the origin. Tove now is tasked with finding the backboard. He does find it, and now Twiz is able to maybe take a shot here, a close one to say the least. Unable to find it, though. And now Tove, looking for the 50-50 demo, is able to find it. Fire Minstrel is on his own for a little bit.
Fiery looking to play it around 1 member of the Panthers. Can't play it around Twiz, though. Save on that shot on goal. It's going to get popped high still here on the Panther side of the field. No follow-up touch from Fiery Minstrel. State finds it finally, but it immediately goes to Tove, who dunks it back down to State. Kindle pops it up, tries to dunk it around Kid Scrub, but cannot play it around them. Twiz goes for the follow-up touch, popping it off that back wall. Is there a follow-up touch? There is from Tove, but there was a save from the Scorpions. Ball gets popped up here in the corner. Tove does a slight pass back. Ball is right in front of the Scorpions' goal. Panthers looking for an opportunity, but Kindle finds that clear, allowing Fiery Minstrel to bring it across the midfield stripe.
Now the orange end is being played defense on, but a weird 50-50 will take it all the way back to the opposite end. A pass out mid, a 50-50 double commit from the defense will push it out into the midfield. An unexpected pinch, to say the least. Kid Scrap unable to make contact. Tove has to look for his teammate upfield in order to get past Kindle, but Kindle actually overcommits and is unable to get the touch altogether. So Tove almost able to play it past 2. He goes up again, leaves it for his teammate Twiz, who rolls it downfield. Tove ends up getting in the way, but is unable to make contact. Kid Scrap with the pass mid, no one there. Fiery can now look for the pass mid, but is unable to find it. He's going to take the dribble up the wall. It's going to pinch towards the net, almost finding its way in, and Tove will have to play third man as Kindle takes a shot low and into the back of the net. And now with 20 seconds left on the clock, Scorpions up 3-0. This is not looking good for the Panthers as Tove looks for a back pass off the back of the net. Unable to find it. Kid Scrap unable to find either. No one making contact in the last 5 seconds. No more contact still. Fiery Minstrel finally breaks that streak as Twiz looks for the 50-50. Does not go in his favor, and Tove has to respond. And with that, time has expired on this match for the Panthers. Scorpions will take it yet again.
They're looking to keep this ball alive in the air. Tove goes for a shot on goal. State will elevate, pop it up. It's still alive. Ball hits the ground, though. That is it. Tove passes it forward, tries to give it to Kid. Still in the air. Ball finally hits the ground with that. Scorpions actually close out this 3-game series, winning all 3. But at the end of the day, both teams will walk away with some great VOD review opportunities between them and their coaches, which is something that Esports Tower has the fantastic opportunity to give to their players.
And that's definitely the beauty of show matches. You can either use them for practice or for fun. Either way, they can be helpful for you. Playing the game for fun is a really good way to kind of relax your way into learning a lot of stuff and getting some fun replays. But honestly, from a learning standpoint, which is all what Esports about, or Esports Tower is about, this is a great set of games to take away for both teams to learn something from.
Yeah, so hopefully all 4 teams benefit from the 7 games in total that we got to see today for the show matches. Hopefully they all had fun, because at the end of the day, I really hope that no one ever stops having fun playing an esport in total. We are going to take a quick moment to take a look at the top 3 performers and see if we can maybe figure out the ICCU player of the game from those ones. I honestly, my vote's going to be for State because they're brand new and they really popped off, but we'll have to see who production picked out.
Yeah, I feel like an obvious choice right off that is Esponda. He was playing a lot of offense for, I believe he was on Team Movement? Or no, he was on RHS.
He was also on one of our Esports Tower teams as well. You can see we also have Darisu coming up. The next guess for me is going to be I'm Splur, because they really popped off in our second show match. But, you know, I only make suggestions. It's ultimately production that gets to choose.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately after casting so much with Boise State University, I get pretty used to the process of thinking about who I would nominate for this. And I can't be surprised by Nate either way, but those first 2, Esfana and Darisu, were the ones that I've been thinking about all day since I watched them play. And Nate is no one to write off either. Kind of that silent killer in some of those series, finding 3 to 4 goals to his name in only a couple of them.
My guess then out of those 3 is going to go to Darisu. Let's see who production picked for our ICCU player of the game as a whole. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong like 80% of the time with this. I think that's about right.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to guess sometimes when the players are so close in talent. And if you're picking Darisu, I have to go with Esponda because, like I said, those first 2 are the players I've been thinking about all day, especially with seeing how Esponda was so prevalent in that first Grand Finals.
And it does look like, I think you're right. I believe it's Esponda, or I think we are rerunning the clips here, unless it is Esponda, which I wouldn't. Yes. It is going to be Esponda, going to be our ICCU player of the game. The player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Esponda is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. So as we prepare to close out this match, do you have any big takeaways from these games?
I mean, my big takeaway is I'm really good at this part. But for the teams in particular, I think today was a big day for communication. The teams that communicated the most didn't really have a whole lot of issues, which I know I've said before, but I think going back, after learning all these mechanics and these great rotational skills and these transitions, I think it's important that we just go back to communicating so that we can focus on implementing those cleanly into our games now.
I 100% agree. There was just way too many gosh darn double commits that could have been cleaned up by great communication from these teams. So hopefully in your VOD reviews, you don't only work on your mechanical skills, but work on your team communication skills. Congratulations to to the team movement on winning the Fennec Cup Grand Finals. And we are excited to see this team in future Rumbles. They look really strong. Our show matches gave us a quick peek behind the curtain as to who could be up next, making their way to the top of the Rumbles in the coming weeks. Be sure to join us here next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Week 5 of the Rocket League Rumble kickoff, and we'll close out with the top 5 plays of the game presented today by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs, offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. And you have a fabulous night, but if you want to tune back in, we have some Overwatch action coming just after this.
There, and I believe that puts us at a tied score line.
I am noticing quite a bit. The Vipers will catch themselves without boost. Even there, Darisu just barely got boost. I'm swear had nothing when they took that shot on goal. And the coaches have really been emphasizing boost pad rotations for practices for the Vipers. I can see how they're struggling with it.
Definitely second that opinion. Twiz already looking for the offensive pressure, but Kids Crab will have to do it for him. Plays around one, unable to get past the other one. But Twiz leaves it for Tove. Great communication there, but Fire Minstrel able to body pass 1 and 2. He's able to find the flick off of the demo. Nobody there to defend in time. And just a great 50-50 ahead. You don't have to worry too much in this kind of situation. That kind of goal is not the end of the world to let go.
Off the backboard, Esponda to themselves from a cross-map shot. Nicely done, bringing Richardson High score up by 1 more with 45 seconds left on the clock. Team movement now looking to score a goal every 10 seconds if they're wanting to get that. Well, sorry, every 11. Bouncer goes into that goal, has a shot on goal saved by Esponda. Nate looking to dunk this down to Gun Game. Gun Game shot on goal is perfect, and we find goal number 1 for Richardson High.
Look at the team play here. The pinch off of each other, working together to find the angle, and just almost an unsavable speed and unsavable read. Can't find out of their end quite yet, but even after I say that, the big boomer and the unfortunate clear will just lead to an open net. You can see how quickly stuff like that shifts. We spend about 10 to 20 seconds stuck in RHS defense, but finally, once they find the clear, Esponda is back again to find the back of the net.